Will this rat find the food? It's getting there. It's almost. It got the food. And we all rejoice at this event. Hey guys, it's Sexy Cat. What's going on? So, I've been muddling different game ideas lately. Well, I've been finishing off things with Pizza Boss. Basically, I've relooked at a lot of different stuff. And I think I'm actually going to be working on a new game that incorporates some of the things I've taken from this game. So, mostly it's from the dream section. So this is supposed to be the main part of Pizza Boss, which is kind of like an economy, like business simulation thing, but in an arcade style where it iterates over like 10 minutes or 12 minutes or something. And you got to manage a restaurant by using your workers. And they basically just do these tasks between like getting milk to make cheese for the pizza, getting tomatoes to make sauce. And you can assign them. So these are all the tasks generally that you need to make one pizza. You even gotta have somebody serving. There's like a host stand. So yeah, the main thrust to make this game was as a fan game. I was watching all the GT lives in like a binge watch, and they were so cool with how they responded to fan games. I was like, oh, that'd be the coolest thing to have them if they could play one of my games. So that was the main impetus for this. But it also incorporates so many elements that I've designed before in other games and kind of reuses them in new ways. And this was always fun with iterating new games. So there's another part of this game. Basically, the idea was that you think that's the main part of the game and this is kind of like a too common of a trope lately in indie games. But either way, it's a great trope to use, the subversion. So you got like Undertale with the secret path. You've got, Doki Doki, and itch.io page. Oh my god. Like the main page is kind of like this is all these stupid horror games basically. Oh, it's not showing horror games. Yeah, it's looking lighter nowadays, but literally the last time I went to itch.io it was all like shitty horror games like SpongeBob bullshit, but this is just how things go. There's trends, people jump onto things, so itch.io is one of the greatest places to see the newest ideas because it's all indie, basically. And yet they can sell their stuff on there too, which is so cool. There's actually some stuff already that look interesting that I'd want to check out. But, so there's these dreams within this game. So you could go, one of the dreams was when you drank too much soda, or it was going to be at the end of the second night, or second day. So there's going to be the 3 days of the regular business, where you're running the business. But if you go into one of these dreams, you're suddenly on a ship. And so you're the same character, you're the squirrel, map has the squirrel, but now you're in a 2D sideways instead of isometric, or overhead basically was the other style. And you explore the ship, and then you see that it's actually sinking. And then you try, this is just very underdeveloped graphically compared to the main part of the game. Oh, I did some hack where I could be underwater later, because this is also what's fun with this aspect of the game, is that this is my own physics engine. It's still incomplete, but I just have the very basics about it. But it's been really fun to make my own physics engine. I've used p2.js a lot, and that's an absolutely fantastic physics engine. So smooth, so efficient. But it's fun to make your own. When you make your own, you get to know how every little thing affects one another. And plus, if you don't even need that many complex actions to occur, that can be optimized to make your own. So I was going to have things float when you're in corridors and have this kind of like a puzzle game, basically. Or like, I guess, keys and doors, essentially what it would be. And literally, too, there would be keys that you find in places. You basically have people on the ship, nobody thinks it's sinking. They're all staying on the ship. And maybe you would say, hey, it's sinking, but they're not listening to you. Again, this is supposed to be like a dream, so you're running the business every day, but now you're playing this game that's a dream. And where this ship is always sinking. It's supposed to be like a cruise ship, and basically Titanic, but I considered making it like an actual one-for-one representation of real ships, but I realized for the effect that I was kind of going for a game, you gotta gamify some things. So I was gonna have the rooms not necessarily be consistent, because I even found a really cool map in Minecraft that was an actual reproduction of the Titanic. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect. So I explored the hell out of it, and it gave me really good like real perspective of how things are big to one another. But the big thing with the Titanic is there's a lot of hallways, a lot of bedrooms, which are all mostly identical, but you're basically just going down hallways, these really thin hallways everywhere that look more or less the same. Each deck has different styles and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I don't know if I just want hallways for the whole game. I kind of want each room to be kind of interesting and unique. I was gonna have like a lounge maybe, for each class, first class, second class, third class, different grand staircases, which is always such a iconic thing about Titanic and those cruise ships, steamship days. Piano, and then, you know, wooden things would float as the water goes up, and maybe certain things are accessible as the water goes up, but eventually you drown because it'll sink the entire ship. And so you're basically trying to do these little puzzle, figure out the route to get all the puzzle elements like keys, and helping out people to find out more, and you get kind of like lore bits or actual data about. So this is the original design. I don't think I'm going to be finishing this game, but I'm taking a lot of elements from this for this next game that I'm working on. But so that would be the one of the dreams, and this is the other dream. This is during the final day, and so each day has its own hazard. Like the cat Skip Trap is going to be the first day. Which is their real cat is named Skip. I can pet it. How do I pet it again? Space? Yeah, space. So I was gonna have it. So there's a special hazard for each of the days. Also, the days would have different employees that you'd have, and maybe the customers would come in differently. But so he would be just a regular cat, but if he eats this pepperoni that has this special spice that's been influenced by like this evil corporation that this game always hints about, so would have hinted about. So this is part of the lore, and so you got to keep his aggression down by petting him. But if you let him go too far, he kind of goes nuts, and then his nuts is turning to Skip Trap, which maybe he'd be like red or something. It wouldn't be too much different, but he'd be insistent on trying to trip you. Like I was thinking he would hide near these door entryways, and then like run in front of you like a cat does in real life too, which is just kind of funny. So each of the days was supposed to have its own hazard. Day 2 was going to have this, what was it? Her name was going to be Irene. It was going to be garbages over here. It was going to be an outside area, like a parking lot, or even further south, maybe. To the right of the south. And she was going to be living in she'd be a raccoon person, living in a trash can, and she'll just want to steal food, so she'll like sneak into your restaurant and then go in through one of these doors and then start stealing your ingredients that you've been setting up. I'm just gonna get some ingredients going. And that was even good. So it was gonna make you take out the trash, so you don't induce her to come in and take your stuff, because she'll be fed. You gotta feed her trash. So she was another hazard. So each of the hazards is supposed to lead to the deeper lore of the game, which is about this company torturing this restaurant by doing various things. One thing is getting spice over there, which makes people kind of crazy hungry. It was like an experiment to sell more food. And then the other element is Ikubo, or Ikamon. She was going to be a squid on your computer. So that was the third day's hazard. Was supposed to be day 1, day 2, day 3 was the squid. and she would be like a Tamagotchi, basically like an old school computer. You'd have like an office somewhere, and she'd be like complaining and whining. It's like a Tamagotchi pet where you have to take care of it, clean it, give it food and stuff, just digitally. So you're kind of playing this game within this game. It might look creepy, might look like a FNAF security room or something like that. Maybe like over here. And so with all the other things you're doing, you have to attending to that virtual pet on the old PC. And then if you didn't attend to her enough and she gets upset, then she would start shooting ink everywhere in the restaurant. And if the ink reached a certain point, maybe like a power main or something, maybe a plumbing main would be good. You basically you go unconscious, like you get the black ink cause you to go unconscious. And then go into the other dreams, Final Fathom, is what you call it. And this is just the overhead view. It's supposed to also be the sideways view, kind of like in the other dream. Endless Aspartame, yeah, because MatPat loves Diet Coke. And there's also this indie game called Endless Nightmares. And so since this is like a recurring nightmare, it's kind of just like a reference. There's like all these kinds of like subtle references to indie games and his stream and stuff. So basically, I was gonna have the 2D version of this. This is just like an overhead view, just so you can do everything, and I didn't have to mess with the 2D. It's supposed to be 2D like the other dream, but you're doing these things with the steamship. You have to do stuff like get fresh water in. You don't want too much water because then it takes too much to heat up. Then we're gonna add some coal. Put some coal in. It starts bringing our temperature up. And it has to get going. I'm gonna open up the throttle. So each of these things would probably be, you have to go in a 2D part of the ship to do it. And I was gonna have where you have Skip to the cat is now in this dream like a big old cat, way bigger than you are, like a beast. But he's your chief engineer, and he's the one who shovels coal into your hot box. So I love the ship stuff. So that's kind of where this new game is going, is more holistically integrating the ship aspect portion instead of Pizza Boss, which is kind of like this subversive game within a game thing. So I still want this subversion element. This new game I'm thinking about. This new one is kind of like another business kind of economy simulator, but using ships like this, having this overhead view, and having like locations, ports, islands that have different things going on, and these little towns develop in each of these places. And you buy ships, you hire people to run routes or just do jobs by moving the ships, moving cargo around from place to place. And so you kind of try to build this business, and then there's other stuff going on that you can learn about. And so there's going to be this. It's really loud. But this is supposed to be the theme for this dream, which I still love, and I want to use in different ways. But oh god, it's gonna get me. So I'll let this squid get me, so you can see what happens. Hard to starboard. I have no heat. No, I'm gonna miss it. And I put tons of coal in, so I'm probably gonna overheat. If you fill too much water, then it takes forever to heat up to actually make any steam. My steam is super low, but it is increasing, and if it increases too fast, this is the steam PSI, pressure per square inch, increase at a time. So this will bust your pipes if it goes too high. So I do want to have elements in this new game, which is called Archimedia right now. I guess sometimes there's something else playing. Had those play. This is another game I was working on. Whatever, I'll just talk about this one, which you can't really do anything, but it's just the bare bones of it. So, Inceptor, it was supposed to be another 2D game. Basically, it was ideas from Lunacore that I wanted to integrate that I never got to use, like stuff with magic. The main idea was that you were like a little mouse against bigger creatures in a 2D environment, and they're way stronger than you, and you basically have to use magic that doesn't directly do damage. It's basically avoiding the concept of like health and stuff, and instead you're trying to evolve the environment using magic. So like maybe like burning a tree down, or because you have some kind of fire or stuff like that. You have to mess with the environment to succeed, and it would be basically like you had different goals, and it would be just a short linear game, or a game that the environment evolves over time too. I guess there's not too much for that game really. I'll have a character drawn though. She has like really big eyes because the character model is supposed to be super small, so you have to make certain things distinct. Like a ball in her tail, different things to make you see yourself move around. And you like hide in trees, maybe hide in stuff. And this is just one of my experiments with trying to do different like town simulation stuff. I'm always trying to do different variations and integrate that with different kinds of games. I even forgot what I was exactly going for this. I think it was just, I wanted things that have tribes, that have communities build up, they have resources, and they like fight each other and have like kind of like empires naturally grow where you don't have to do it. Maybe you could interact with it directly, but mostly you're just kind of watching these societies go against each other and stuff. And then Animal Game will never be an esport. This one was just, man, I forget sometimes. I think another like ecology simulator. I could also use the maybe this is actually the RTS one that I wanted to make. There's an RTS game where I want to have animals versus people, and the animals have to like, well, the animals are actually just like the main thing is a fairy that's like taking charge of the certain animals in the environment. So the humans would be basic infantry, kind of medieval stuff, archers, catapults. Animals would have like snakes, wolves, bears, and it would be an RTS game, so like StarCraft, but in my, version, a simpler version. And I have a lot of RTS ideas that I want to try, mess around with. I posted one of my RTS games. I posted Aegeon War on an itch.io. This is another RTS game. I wish I could do drag click, but I realized I could figure out how to do control groups. I can press Control 1, although select these with Shift, and then you can do Control 2, although it makes you go to a different tab in Chrome. If I can press 2 to recall them. Why can't I press 1 to recall the other one? Is this a bug? Control 3? Okay, well that works. Press. I don't know why these aren't working. But anyways, this is in the world of Aegeon that has different color aether. These were with like another RTS idea. And honestly, this has enough bare bones that I could actually develop it fully. I probably just should. But you don't directly destroy each other, the ships. You actually take out different parts of the ship. For example, if you click the ship, Murasaki is the team name. Wasp is the model of the ship. This one's like a little recon ship. A thrusters is the low. It's like a high torque engine that uses like an efficient fuel. And foils are a quick engine that doesn't work well on heavy stuff, but it gives you a lot of thrust, but also is very like gas intensive as far as that. They use different elements. And they have this has the weapon that it has is blind 1, so it takes out the short range sensor, which is basically its eyes where it can see, so you can blind the other units. That's the only kind of weapon this little guy has. The bigger one, the Barracuda, a little more thrusters, more foils, and these are going offline because they're attacking each other. This guy's on a mobilization attack, so that weapon takes out the thrusters, but it doesn't take out the foils. So basically the idea was there's multiple weaknesses on a ship, but like not one ship can just immediately kill the other one. I was gonna have, instead of destroying them, you could actually board them and take them over. So I think that's a cool RTS idea, is that you can, the leftover ships that aren't dead are turned over to the other side. There's a lot of like ideas that I wanted to use in this RTS. I literally have like 10 different RTS ideas that I develop and change and blend into each other over time, just like my other ideas. But this is just like some fun stuff I've been working on. So either Animal Game was going to be simulation or was the RTS. And maybe it was the RTS because Animal Game will never be an esport is a StarCraft meme, which I don't know where it was from, but I still say it in Artosis's chat, which is cool. So Archimedia actually has a little bit of code for it, but not very far. I basically just have I just took some of the asset from the Final Fathom, which I'll probably take other stuff. But I'm actually trying to put this map in here. It's just a random place in Google Maps. But I think I want to basically use some of these elements to make an island. Maybe a larger island. Maybe this won't. I don't know if I'm going to use fully this area, but at least these kind of islands look pretty cool. So I'm going to kind of roughly reference them. And so I want to like different ports and different towns, and they'll only have like 2 or 3 people, or they'll have very small amounts of people, but these towns will develop based upon how you do business with them. And then they'll have different people there that have different skills. But a lot of these things are very simplified. It's simplified as much as possible. I feel like a lot of these simulation games can go crazy complex. And my idea is to not make I also don't want it to last very long. Getting the timings for things is very important. Like how long it takes to have a ship go to one place to another place. And have that satisfying push, but that it's not too fast where it's like meaningless. And I basically want to have a good simulation length. My idea would be it feels like an hour to 2 hours max, like for an iteration of a game. That would be really good. If it had to go longer, it's okay. And basically, I mean, there has to be some sort of opposing force to make the game end. And that's kind of where I kind of have the nature take its course. If you're developing like really fast and a lot, or just over time, nature's going to try to bring that down in some way. It's going to have some sort of magic. There's going to be this whole kind of like hidden story that if you go down this other route, you'll be able to have a different ending, basically. So it's basically a simulation game, business game, with a subversive like lore, puzzly elements. And it's again going to have the 2D part where you can board the ships on the side, kind of like in Endless Aspartame. So it's going to be 2D sideways like this. So you can board your own ships, inspect stuff. Stuff can go wrong, and but then you have people drive your ships automatically for you. So, and then they earn money for you. But you can also drive your own ships too, and then they can have extra crew. Which helps them do things faster. And maybe if they don't have enough crew, maybe they'll make a mistake and run into like something. There's gonna be no randomness because I don't use random. It's all gonna be very transparent mechanics, but satisfying, interesting. Hopefully. I mean, I'm developing just because I'm excited about it. Basically, excitement and interest is what drives all my development. So it takes a lot of elements from this, but kind of purifies and distills the best elements. And it's just something I'm also more interested in lately, is this kind of trying all these different business simulators. But I mean, just even for me, it sounds like it'd be fun. Even if I made it myself, I would have a lot of fun just balancing how you have like a ship business, like a transportation business. So, but yeah, these are some of the ideas I've been working out lately. Thanks for checking in, and I'll check you out later.